Hey guys, welcome to the Dude Seriously Show. I'm Jonathan.
I'm Ben.
And we're talking Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider is a film about a girl who is living well below her potential but feels a greater calling. Through a series of adventures, she finds a captain that's able to take her far away to an island that she uses clues to find. As she gets there, she ends up finding an old man who initially does not want to spend any time with her or help her progress along, but he realizes that by working together, they may be able to stop the evil afoot.
Haven't we seen that before?
No, Tomb Raider. It just came out in theaters. There's nothing like it.
Oh, okay, we're talking about Tomb Raider. All right. That sounded like something else.
No. So, what did you think of Tomb Raider?
Well, going into it, I've never played the video games.
Yeah, me neither.
Hadn't seen the Angelina Jolie movies. So really have no knowledge of this. So I went in with an open mind, really not knowing what to expect.
Sure.
And basically, really disappointed.
Yeah. I'm not sure the film knew what it wanted to be. Again, I'm in the same boat. I know nothing about the character, nothing about the story. Really, the only thing I know is she's got those big blocky guns and a bow and arrow. That's all I know, in the blue tank top.
Right.
Aside from that, I really don't know anything about Lara Croft or the Tomb Raider history, and I feel like the movie might be better for people that do know that. You know, it might be like a fan love letter sort of thing, and if that's the case, then okay. But whenever we judge a movie, right, it's really important that the movie stands on its own. The video game franchise can drive people to the movie, but it should work the other way around. I shouldn't have to know how the video game goes to get into this movie and vice versa. So let's go ahead and jump into spoilers. If you care about spoilers, here's where you want to cut out. The thing that threw me off as soon as the movie started is it opens with this montage talking about, this goddess of death that's buried, and her father went off to find this goddess. Well, it sounds to me like her father was the only person that had leads on this thing, and he had just about all of the information how to basically walk up and knock on the tomb's door.
And it's all laid out, and she sees all that.
Yeah.
And she basically instantly just knows everything there is to know about all of this.
Yeah, and so she goes to find it, instead of burn it, which her father told her on the tape to burn it.
Exactly.
But even earlier than that, why would her father go to find it? If you go to this tomb and you open it, and it unleashes the death that the prophecy says it will, why would you do that in the first place?
Basically, everything he didn't want done, he's going to do.
Yeah.
And then telling her, I don't want you coming here. I want you to burn this. Get rid of all of it. Well, what does she do?
Yeah.
She does the exact opposite. But I guess, you have no movie if that doesn't happen,
right,
which is fine, but it's so convenient, everything that happens.
Yeah. The more interesting story would be the dad finds all of this information on this tomb and realizes what a danger to the world this would be. But somebody steals all of this information from him, but he's so smart that he has it, memorized. And so he chases after them, gets stuck on the island, and Lara Croft has to piece together her father's footsteps. And then when she gets there, she takes it a step further, and she proves that she is smarter than him. Not because of convenience, like this movie tells you, but because she solved the puzzle that he couldn't.
Yep.
And having that driving motivation there, from the villainous side of the people that stole it, would just enrich the story so much.
And speaking of the villain, the thing that I really looked forward to was Walton Goggins.
He's the
I
best,
love Walton Goggins.
Yep.
I used to watch Justified. He played Boyd Crowder. I mean, he's been in The Shield, the Tarantino films. He's been in Django. And, so I'm looking forward. Hey, it's Walton Goggins. This is going to be great. And even he couldn't save this movie for me. His character was just so, I want to say, kind of weak.
The first part of the movie lost me, where she's doing her thing. There's a cool bike montage scene where they're biking through the city.
Yeah.
But I'm not really sure what that adds to the story other than telling you that Lara Croft is crafty.
But you don't know how she gets all this stuff.
Yeah.
She's able to do all these things, and she conveniently lands on the boat that she just happens to be looking for,
and the guy,
where she finds the captain to take her to the island.
Yeah. So fast forward a little bit, all of that bored me. I was just totally out of the movie. I was out of the movie from that opening montage where I couldn't piece together why the father was doing what he was doing. But long story short, Lara Croft ends up on this island with Walton Goggins, and you kind of immediately realize that he's the villain character. And I still wasn't interested, but then they go on the move to the dig site that they're doing where the explosions are going on, and we see that Walton Goggins has slaves.
Right.
And it's like, okay, now this is interesting. This could turn really dark. And then nothing really comes of it.
Nothing.
Yeah.
They they eventually all work together, but it's not worth the wait.
Yeah. The film, it progresses, right? There's definitely a story there, no doubt about that. But it's so weird. Everything's convenient in this movie.
So convenient.
Yeah. So Lara Croft escapes from the slaves and everything, and she makes a getaway, and she ends up at this waterfall, and there's this rusty plane there. You can tell it's been there for decades.
Long time.
Yeah. And she goes over, and she ends up on the wings of the plane, and as soon as she gets there, this 125-pound human is on top of this plane, and it starts to creak and crack. You mean to tell me like a monkey or something never like climbed across that and broke it? Nope, it's just
Laura.
Yeah. Just happens to be there, and the plane creaks and she falls, and it's just silly. It's just too convenient.
It really was, and I know this is fantasy, this is fiction, I get that, but at some point it has to be, all right, this is getting absurd. And the whole time, she's hanging, the plane's getting ready to fall. I'm sitting there having flashbacks to The Lost World, Jurassic Park, when they're in that trailer and the glass starts cracking around them and they're having to hang on to the backpack and all this. And it felt like that. And this whole movie, to me, part of it, it's okay, we got Star Wars going on, we got Indiana Jones going on, we got some Jurassic Park, all this stuff. And you would think, with all of those great movies, that, wow, this would be really good. But to quote Wilford Brimley, no. I will have to bring up two things that I thought were just so ridiculous.
More ridiculous than the plane?
Yes, these really stick out to me. First, when they're in the tomb, and there's that gap, and they need some type of bridge to get across that gap. Out of nowhere, they find basically a little ladder-like tool that is perfect length to get them across that bridge. Where they got that from, how they got it the exact right measurements, I don't know. But boy, was that convenient to get them across.
It's literally within inches of what they needed
Yeah.
to be. Absolutely perfect.
Second thing, at the end of the movie, when the helicopter comes in to rescue Walton Goggins and his crew because they've been called in, well, the slaves have now armed themselves. Lara Croft has made it out of the tomb with her bow and arrow, and this gigantic, high-powered helicopter lands, and she pulls out her bow and arrow, getting ready to fire that at the helicopter.
Yeah.
Kind of silly for me.
Yeah.
I would rather have the gun.
I'd be fine if her bow was like at half draw, kind of at the ground, like a cool
Sure.
BA pose.
If they get out, I can shoot them.
Yeah,
But
even the way the shot's composed, it's like, they're making it seem like she's gonna do some serious harm, and it's like, dude, seriously?
This isn't Hawkeye using a bow and arrow. This Lara Croft. It's silly.
This movie just didn't know what it wanted to be.
No.
Yeah, it tried to do everything, and it kind of failed at all of them.
It was nothing that really wowed me. I feel like, okay, I've seen all of this before. I've seen this in a Mummy film or something. It's just, it was kind of dull.
These island adventure movies, we've gotten so many of them lately. Kong Skull Island, Jumanji, and we've seen how you can explore this survival adventure genre and have depth. And you need character depth, you need character development, you need good versus evil. And, even with the mystery, it ended up not being magic at all. It was a disease, and that's cool. That's kind of the Scooby-Doo effect.
It's a nice little twist.
Yeah, but there's no strife after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just doesn't work.
It was whatever, really.
Yeah. So, that's our thoughts on Tomb Raider. Dude, seriously, this is not the best film of 2018 so far. I really don't know if I have any high praise for this movie other than Walton Goggins being the best part, and even then, it's not my favorite Walton Goggins role. So, I don't know. Again, we have not played the video game, so there's no real investment into the story, but
I think that works to our advantage, though, because we go in there with an open mind and we have no expectations.
Exactly.
But that popcorn was amazing.
The popcorn was
great. It's really good.
So, dude, seriously, that wraps up our thoughts on Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
Yeah, not much left to say, so we'll see you on the next one.